Hello again, Dan Richardson at the Chapel of the North Hills, where we're inviting you to continue reading the Bible every day for 40 days with us together as we learn about prayer and as we practice prayer and input it into our lives every day. We're on day 12, where we're still considering the question, is God even listening? And on day 12, I'd like us to read Lamentations chapter 3, verse 55 through 57. It goes like this. I called on your name, Lord, from the depths of the pit. You heard my plea. Do not ignore my cry for relief. You came near whenever I called to you, and you said, do not be afraid. It's a beautiful idea that the entire book, an entire book of the Bible, is occasioned by sadness. Lamentations means sadness. And yet, in that book, we read some of the most hopeful of verses. In this verse, the author, that's probably Jeremiah, recalls how God has always answered his prayers. Jeremiah is nicknamed the weeping prophet because of all the national tragedies he endured in his ministry. He called to God repeatedly in times of discouragement. Furthermore, there was a time where he was literally thrown into a pit, and he would have died but for a friend's help. You can read that story in Jeremiah 38. So I want you to think about God's response here. God was always near, and God always helped. But look what God always told him. Do not be afraid. Do you realize that phrase is often in the Bible? In fact, it is the most common commandment in all of Scripture. Do not be afraid. So why does God have to tell us so often not to be afraid? It's because we're afraid so often. Whatever pit you're in, that is what God is going to tell you as you pray. So he will deliver. Do not be afraid. Be blessed.